How's it going, YouTube? It's FuzzyXYZ here. Now, the idea for today's video came from the fact that it is regional seasons over here in the UK. So this video is basically me giving you some advice, some helpful tips and some reminders about what to do and what not to do at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, such as a YCS or a regionals. So let's go on to some of the more obvious things that you need to take to a Yu-Gi-Oh event. The first main thing is your Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You have to make sure that your Yu-Gi-Oh deck is to the requirements of that format, i.e. that your deck doesn't have any ban cards in and doesn't have any fake cards in. Your main deck has to be between 40 and 60 cards, side and extra have to be between 0 and 15 cards. Now it does help if you have your deck sleeved. Most people do this, but some people prefer not to sleeve their decks. It is best if you sleeve your decks, that way your cards do not get damaged, and it also helps if you carry around in a deck box, therefore you won't lose cards, and it's more easier to travel around with. The next thing that is really helpful to have is a Yu-Gi-Oh map. This means that you don't have to play on the tables that are actually laid out, because if somebody spills a drink, etc., or has had food on that table, then it could muck up your sleeves, muck up your cards. So it's just better to have a Yu-Gi-Oh map there. You can kind of show off with an expensive one, or you can just buy a cheap plain white one. It doesn't really matter, it's just a play surface for you to play the game on. The next thing is to have a form of recording life points. This can be either done by written, so like a little pad of paper like this. It can be any piece of paper or a calculator. The benefits of having a piece of paper rather than a calculator is that you can see the life points there, because if you record on a calculator, then you have the chance that the calculator might turn off, you lose track of life points, and you could end up getting cheated out of a victory, etc. I kind of like to use both, the paper to record the official life points on, and then a calculator to do any calculations or working out, for example, if you're trying to work out how much damage you have on the field, etc. Some really important things to have also is dice. You can determine who goes first with a dice roll at the beginning of the duel. You can use the dice to record if your game goes into time, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, or however the time regulations work at that event. They're also really helpful if you're playing a deck like Six Samurai, and if you have gateway counters, then you can obviously put the die on how many counters it is, therefore you don't lose track of how many counters you have on that card, etc. And then the final thing is a form of token. This is really helpful if you're playing a card like Gauze or something like that, or Scapegoat, because it's like a presence on the field, so it actually shows that you have that token there. Now, some other things that you do essentially need to take is a form of communication. This way, if you get lost in an unfamiliar place, or you need to get home or call transport, etc., at least you have an emergency communication. If you can't find your friends, etc., then you can at least give them a ring, give your parents a ring to come pick you up or something like that. And money, you need money for your transport, for your entry. If you need to get some new sleeves, a new Yu-Gi-Oh binder, a new deck box or anything, then you can at least buy them at the event. Something that I urge a lot of people to take is deodorant and wipes. Cleanliness in a Yu-Gi-Oh event is key. Make sure you have a shower before you go, etc. Some general basic stuff. It sounds stupid, I know, but there can be some unhygienic people there. I like to take wipes, like hand wipes, or hand sanitizer, depending on which one you prefer, etc. Because you are doing a lot of handshaking, you're dealing with other people's cards. You could possibly have food and drink down there. If you get mucky hands, at least you're not smearing it all over your opponents and your own cards, etc. So cleanliness is a key. Now, another thing I urge you to take to a Yu-Gi-Oh event or anywhere is food and drink. A lot of venues that host Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments do not provide catering. There might not be vending machines. They might not provide a dinner break for so long. If you kind of like nip out to a shop during rounds or something, you risk being late for the next round, which could get you a game loss. So taking your own food and drink means that you can keep hydrated, you can keep refreshed, you have the energy to continue through the day. Me personally, I like to take medication to the event. If you suffer from an illness or anything like that, like me personally, I suffer from migraines. You are concentrating a lot throughout the day. There might be bright lighting in the event hall, which could affect your vision or anything like that, so I like to take a headache tablet before the event. Also, it's just for caution. if one of your friends or a teammate or anything like that, or somebody you know down there suffer from an illness, then take the medication just in case. It is very helpful, and if you can get ill during the event, it could render you to drop out. I have had it plenty of times where I've got ill during an event and had to drop out because you physically cannot continue that event. So they are like key essential things that I like to take down to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. Something I like to do before the event actually begins, like the day before or the week before the actual date of the event, is pre-register. If you pre-register, it means that you have a secure spot in that tournament. It also means that you're not wasting money travelling down there just to get turned away because there's not enough space for you to enter. It also means that you don't have to queue up on the day. All you have to do is pay money and sit down and chill out. Which leaves you to the second part, which is I like to fill in my deck list the day before. Filling in the deck list the day before means that you actually save time before the event begins. You're not panicking writing your deck list. Also, if you do it actually on your computer, it automatically fills in for you. It counts the numbers and etc. It's so simple to actually type it out rather than filling it in the box. Sometimes if you have big handwriting, then you might not be able to fit the full name in the box, so you kind of have to go over. So filling out your deck list on your computer, maybe the night before, etc., is really helpful. Like I say, it saves time. It's so much simpler than writing it. That time that you're wasting filling out your deck list before the event could be valuable time that you maybe sit and chill out and sit and play test with your friends. So I do urge you to pre-register and fill in your deck list the day before. Now, some things to look out for during the actual event itself. When you sit down and duel your opponent, if your opponent maybe plays a card that you don't specifically know what it does, make sure that you read the card thoroughly. If you then do not know the full function of that card, then definitely call a judge. Judges are there to help you out during the event. They are to solve any problems that you may have, any rulings or anything like that, then they can help you out. The second thing is, after a duel is finished, make sure that you have all your cards and all of your possessions with you. It is a pain in the arse when you have something go missing, so definitely make sure that your deck is all with you. Make sure that anything that you may have gotten out from your bag, etc., make sure that everything is there that you had at the beginning of the day. Make sure it's there at the end of the day. And probably the final thing that I recommend you to do during the day is just basically have fun. Yu-Gi-Oh is a fun game. Going to different events, especially if you're travelling, can be a very fun time. Make sure you don't get bummed down by anything. Cheer yourself up. If you have friends down there, then basically just have a laugh, have some fun. When you're dueling, make sure that you show full respect to your opponent. Respect is very key. Make sure, even if it's just a simple handshake or a good look or something like that, then it means that you are a good player yourself, and it shows kindness to other players that you respect the game. And like I said, just basically have fun with it. That's all Yu-Gi-Oh is. It's a fun card game that people play. Don't take it too seriously. Lose. If you lose, then basically get over it. You can learn from your losses, maybe in the next round. If you kind of hinder on that loss, then it could affect you in the next rounds. Make sure that you have a clear mind going into the event itself. Don't get too distracted by other people. Concentrate on what you are doing. Concentrate on what your opponent is doing. Make sure that you don't get cheated. And just like I said, just generally have a fun day. Make sure that you have fun with your friends, etc. And one thing that I like to do is record, obviously, at events. If you're a YouTuber or you want to take pictures, then make sure that it is fine with the event organisers. Sometimes you may get kicked out for recording or something like that, so do make sure that recording or taking pictures or anything like that is allowed in the event hall. I don't really have the problems over in the UK, but I have heard that sometimes over at YCS's in America and stuff like that, that they do have problems maybe in maybe the venue doesn't like recording there, so definitely make sure that recording is allowed. And like I said, just to sum it up, make sure you do have fun, enjoy your times, and I hope this video has helped you out in preparations for a Yu-Gi-Oh event. Please comment on this video, please thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel. See you later, YouTube.